Doctor says I gotta cut down on fucking sugar. So I guess I can't drink soda anymore. Now I just gotta fucking drink apple juice. There's just so much bullshit going on in the world today that it's hard not to say fuck everything and just do whatever until we die. Now, this kind of hits home a little bit with me because I have a friend that recently suffered a heart attack. Hopefully he's watching this, or at least starts getting on the path to the truth about health. But what he had conflicting things his doctor told him. Now this is all secondhand knowledge. He posted this shit on Facebook. He had one doctor tell him, okay, low fat. You can't have fat. You know, you can have good fats, but, you know, not bad fats. And the list of good fats were pretty much just olive oil, I think. And then he had another doctor told him to limit processed sugar. Now, anybody that's been watching me a little bit knows that sugar and carbs in insulin-resistant people cause hyperinsulinemia and cause all these metabolic diseases, obesity, heart disease, diabetes. Diabetes happens when your pancreas just can't keep up with your blood sugar. And it also happens because your insulin-resistant liver continues to produce glucose no matter what you eat. And it produces too much, and sooner or later your pancreas can't keep up with the amount of insulin, and that's when your blood sugar numbers start climbing and various other bad fucking artery clogging things happen, including your liver making fat from sugar and clogging your arteries and causing heart attacks. You know, this is all science. Motherfuckers have proven this shit. This isn't new shit. This is stuff that's fucking well documented and has been suppressed over the years because of financial interests, politics, and just not wanting to be wrong. You know, a lot of scientists from back in the day, particularly the ones responsible for this low-fat diet that we've been on that's destroyed our health, they didn't want to be wrong. They wanted to be like, I fucking fixed heart disease. You're wrong. This is right. Fuck you. This is the way it goes. And that's what they've been preaching. And where did it get us? Where did it get us? Look at the statistics. The only drop in heart disease correlated directly with reducing cigarette smoke. But it's not gone. Clearly. And diabetes is out of control, obesity is out of control, and it's happening at a younger and younger age. As I've said before, if you're an insulin-resistant motherfucker, and you eat lots of carbs and sugar, then you will develop disease a lot sooner than we're supposed to. Now, it's all exposure-based. Depends on how insulin resistant you are and how much of the shit you eat. And the more of it you eat, the quicker the resistance builds up, the quicker things start to fuck up in your health. And, you know, I'm trying to reverse this in myself. I have fatty liver. I am insulin resistant. And if I eat over a certain amount of carbs and sugar, probably around the 50 gram range for me, for carbs and sugar combined, I get fat. And if I continue on that path, I already know that I will be sticking my big toe in diabetes and heart disease. Probably more on the heart disease side, because that seems to be where my genetics are prone. But in leaving out, cancer and all of that isn't something we should leave out either, because that's being proven to be a metabolic disease as well, related to insulin resistance, related to carbs and sugar. So, one of the things I hear going on is people think if it's fucking natural, it's good for you. If two bees rub their clit together and give you honey, that's better for you. It's not. Metabolically, it's the same. Whether you're licking a bee's asshole to get the goddamn honey, or you're eating fucking high fructose corn syrup squeezed out of the assholes in fucking Iowa. It doesn't matter. Okay? When you are insulin resistant, it doesn't matter if you ate fucking 3 oranges to get your sugar. And you damn sure don't want to crush them oranges and remove the fiber and drink 10 oranges, which is what you do when you have a glass of orange juice. When you have to reduce sugar because you are fucked up, you gotta cut all that shit out. All of it, including honey, agave nectar, or whatever the fucking stroking goddamn name for fucking sugar that you're consuming is. The fucking sugar is fucking sugar. And we're gonna go over that in this fucking video on how the food industry and how people just justify their sugar with fancy fucking names and, pictures of some native culture grinding the shit out of with their fucking stone and pestle in the goddamn woods somewhere, when the fact of the matter remains that sugar is fucking sugar. Okay? There's no healthy sugar. Never was. The reason we got away with it earlier in our history, and I'm only going back maybe 1,000 years or so, maybe 2,000 years. The only reason we got away with it back then is there wasn't a lot of it, and it was expensive as fuck. And then we learned to process the shit. Now it's everywhere. It's in every goddamn fucking food in the supermarket almost. If it's in a box or a bag, it probably has one of the fucking 70-something fucking names for sugar. I don't even know how many fucking names. I think they invent new fucking names for sugar every fucking goddamn day. And it's a minefield. Anybody that's doing a ketogenic diet like myself or a low-carb diet knows that when you go in the supermarket, you gotta read every fucking label you pick up. And the easiest thing to do is just not, if it has a label, I don't bother with it. But there's some labels I do read, and I do have a little bit of sugar in my life. There is some sugar in some of the foods I eat, but it is a minuscule, especially by today's standards, amount of sugar in my diet. And it's really the only reason I eat that minuscule amount of sugar is because you can't eliminate it unless you don't eat anything sweet at all. Or anything with a hint of sweetness, or anything that's in a package. And a lot of nuts have some little cunt hair of sugar in it. Sometimes in the form of dried fruit, which is also sugar. And as long as you know that, you can keep your dose down. I'm not saying never eat sugar. I'm saying you need to get your dose down to old school. And that's when it's rare, maybe once a month. And in small doses. And you'll also find you'll become more sensitive to sweetness so that you won't require a shit ton of sugar to get the sweetness. And you definitely won't eat enough to addict yourself in that point. Some people are so fucked up they can't even do that because they're so addicted and they have such a high level of insulin resistance. You have to completely remove anything even close to sugar from your diet. But make no mistake, the cause of our epidemic, of our chronic diseases, can be directly and scientifically linked to sugar in all of its forms. Oh, another reason I'm passionate about this is I was watching a vegan video, which I sometimes do, so I can stay up on both sides of the arguments. And And they were going into artificial sweeteners are bad, but you can have like agave sugar or this kind of sugar or sugar in the raw. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my fucking God, it's sugar! It doesn't matter what kind of fancy goddamn vegan name you give it, it's still sugar. And it's still bad for you. It is like a drug, and it's supposed to be consumed in very small doses for your liver to deal with it. If you overburden your fucking liver, you will straight up fuck your shit up. You will. If you eat too much sugar, you will fuck your liver up if you're insulin resistant. And you don't gotta be fat to be insulin resistant. There's plenty of motherfuckers with goddamn diabetes and fucking heart disease that aren't overweight. So you fuckers in the gym that think you're all that, and then you go and you're pounding all that sugar and carbs, I'm sorry, but you're gonna get sick just like the rest of us. You'll look better, I guess, when you're sick, if that matters. I don't really give as much shit about that. I just don't. I've seen people who are sick in my life. I've watched people die who were sick in my life, and I don't want to go like they did. I'd rather get fucking hit by a bus or something like that. I'm not thinking I'm going to live forever. I just don't want to die that way. And you can't really predict how you're going to die. And, you know, chances are I could do all of this healthy shit and still die in 10 years or 5 years. So there is that argument to be made. Well, fuck, I'm going to die anyway. I just I'll fuck go to McDonald's and die. And if that's how you want to die, that's your choice. But at least know what you're choosing. Don't pretend like you're being healthy. All right? Like a lot of people are when they say, I can drink fruit juice, I can have agave nectar and goddamn honey and molasses and blah, 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 blah. You are just jerking yourself off to being a fucking health nut. You're not really being healthy if you're eating those things in excess. And to be clear what excess is, let's just look at what the overall recommended guidelines are, and then I'll give my opinion on what I think of those fucking guidelines. How much sugar should you be fucking eating? That's the question, right? That's the one we all want to know. How much of the drugs can I get before I get fucked up? The rule of thumb I follow is if I'm eating something, I have a 5-gram sugar per serving limit. It counts toward my carbohydrate count for the day of 50 grams. Some people can tolerate more than that. Some can only tolerate 25 grams. Sorry, before I was so rudely interrupted by making money. So, as I was about to say, I was about to tell you how much sugar we're supposed to fucking eat to be healthy. Now, this is for people that aren't fucked up. Keep that in mind. So, if you're not fucked up yet and you somehow are watching this, this is what you should be doing according to the heavily biased guidelines. I would contend to cut this in half to be truly healthy. But if you're just looking to get away with, you know, and living a decent amount of life, but still having your cake too, this is kind of the guidelines, which this would rule out cake, by the way. In men, you are allowed 9 teaspoons of sugar per day, which is 38 fucking grams of sugar. That's all sugar. Doesn't matter what kind of sugar, whether it's a fucking apple or whether it's a cookie. If that is the amount of sugar you are eating and you eat more than that, you are eating way too much sugar. In women, it's 25 grams of sugar. Now, these are for healthy, normal motherfuckers that haven't been fucking themselves up for the past fucking 20, 30 years. Alright? If you caught it early and you're not suffering from symptoms, you could probably get by following those guidelines. I'm fucked up. If I eat 38 grams of fucking sugar, that's usually probably going to end up to being about 150 grams of carbs total, which carbs matter. I will gain weight. I will get bloated. My fatty liver will get fatter. I will become obese, I will get diabetes or heart disease if I eat those guidelines. And a lot of people are in that same boat as I am that can't do that. And you just got to realize, whatever time you got away with prior to that, you got away with that. Now you got to hunker down and pay for it. You spent all these years eating tons of fucking sugar and all kinds of refined processed foods and vegetable oils and fucked up foods. Now you're starting to fucking see your health go downhill, but you're not taking the time to say, okay, now it's time to buckle down so that I don't die in my 50s or 60s. I just want you to know if you're being fucked up is why I'm bringing this up. So when you go into the goddamn store and you're looking at packages, they're not going to outright tell you how, usually they have a picture of a farmer, jerking off in a field somewhere or like a tree with some nuts on it or something, and it says all natural, non-GMO, organic, happy fucking horse shit on it. And it's bullshit. Alright? This is how you figure out if it's healthy. First of all, if there's ingredients on the fucking label that you don't know what the fuck it is or can't Google that shit and at least figure out how bad it is for you, chances are if you see that shit on there, you need to just put that shit back on the shelf and go get you some real food. That was grown or butchered or harvested, that wasn't processed. If you want to be healthy. If you want to be fucked up, then by all means eat the Pop-Tart. Which, if you look at the package of Pop-Tarts, there's all kinds of health claims. All kinds. So, here are the motherfucking names of sugar. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to read these off, and I'm going to comment on some of them. Agave nectar. That's number 1 on the list. And that's one of the ones I hear on vegan sites is fucking supposed to be good for you. Agave nectar. Sounds like somebody jerked off on something. I don't want agave nectar in my food. Barbados sugar. Apparently sugar's fucking good if it came from Barbados. Barley malt. I think I've seen that in quite a bit things. It sounds remarkably like beer. I don't know. Barley malt syrup. In case you're offended by barley malt, we had to give it a whole other fucking name. Beet sugar. Right. Still sugar. Brown sugar. Still sugar. Buttered syrup. Oh, they got butter in there for us butter people. We like butter, but it's got syrup in it, so maybe, that was like gonna fool a keto into being fucking goddamn sugared up. Oh, it's got butter in it. Hey, I'm good. It's got syrup from a cow's ass. Cane juice. I see that one a lot on a lot of food labels. Yeah, cane juice. Cane juice crystals. Just in case you couldn't figure out that cane juice was sugar, we got cane juice crystals because, that's better. It's crystallized cane juice. I mean, you see what's going on here, right? You see the problem? Cane sugar, which is what sugar is. It came from fucking sugar cane. Jesus Christ. So we're going to call it cane sugar. And maybe somehow that won't fucking get by anybody. Caramel. I immediately think of Twix bars and shit when I think of caramel. But a lot of people put it on their goddamn ice cream and shit. Still sugar. Carob syrup. Haven't seen that one. But now we know that that's probably fucked up. Castor sugar. Sounds like sugar that came out of a car. The fuck? Coconut palm sugar. Oh, that's gotta be healthy. It's got coconut. Coconut's goddamn good for everything, right? Coconut sugar. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wonder how many motherfucking coconuts you had to process to get sugar out of it. Probably a lot. Confectioner's sugar. That's when they really make the sugar powdery so they can put it on your goddamn fucking funnel cake at the goddamn fucking carnival as you die from all of that. Then they fry it in fucking vegetable oil, so you get some fucking aldehydes all up in your shit and fucking you up. So it's like a double whammy there. Corn sweetener, corn syrup solids, date sugar, dehydrated cane juice, demerara sugar. I can't even fucking say that one. Dextrin. And my personal favorite that I see in a lot of artificial sweetener mix, dextrose. So yeah, your artificial sweetener is really just fucking partial sugar. Evaporated cane juice, free-flowing brown sugars, fructose. By the way, sugar is 50% fructose. So I guess fructose would be the, isolated compound, and in high doses, very toxic to your liver, every bit as toxic as alcohol is to your liver. Fruit juice. You hear that? Apple juice, orange juice, fucking grape juice. Juiced fruit takes the sugar out of the fruit and puts it into your fat ass. Glucose. Glucose fairly safe and benign because it's not sugar. Sugar is a molecule which consists of glucose and fructose. Glucose by itself is the same as like eating spaghetti or, potatoes. It's still carbs, and if you're fucking carb intolerant, insulin resistant, then you still should avoid it. But probably the least fucked up thing that I've read so far. Glucose solids, probably same thing, but I wonder what the solids are. Golden sugar, golden syrup, grape sugar, high fructose corn syrup. That one everyone knows is fucked up. So if you notice, it's disappearing from labels, but I guarantee you it's there as some other fucking name. And they just don't want to call it high fructose corn syrup anymore because you fucking will know that you're eating bad shit then, and they don't want you to know that. Because they got to protect their secret formula. And right under high fructose corn syrup is honey. Okay, bees make honey. It's natural. It's good for you. It has the same goddamn metabolic effect on you as high fructose corn syrup. Oh, by the way. Icing sugar, invert sugar, malt syrup, maltodextrin. That's also I see in a lot of sugar-free products. So, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Maltol, maltose, mannose, maple fucking syrup. That's natural too. It comes out of goddamn trees. Everything that comes out of trees is good for you, right? You ever watch Naked and Afraid? You see them eating trees? Guess what? Not everything in nature is good for you. In fact, a lot of things in nature will fucking kill you. Molasses. There we go with that natural shit again. Muscovado. Palm sugar. Panoka. Whatever the fuck that is. Powdered sugar. Raw sugar. Refinery syrup. Race syrup. Saccharose. Sorghum syrup. Sucrose. Sucrose is the sugar that you are trying to avoid when you eat agave nectar or honey. Same shit. Came from fucking sugar cane. Sugar granulated. Sweet sorghum syrup. Treacle, whatever the fuck that is. Turbinado sugar and yellow sugar. Are you getting the idea here that maybe they're trying to fuck with you? Why can't they just call it what it is? Sugar. And it should be clearly labeled. And I shouldn't have to sort out total sugars from added sugar. It should just be called sugar. And total sugar is what you should look at on a food label, where it says total sugar. And then you look at the serving size of that motherfucker. Because another thing the motherfuckers like to do is divide the serving size really small to keep the goddamn sugar grams per serving count down. So you'll see something that's like 5 grams of sugar per serving, but a serving size is an eighth of a cup. And you ain't eating no fucking eighth of a cup. You're going to eat half the goddamn bag. Or the whole bag. So keep that in mind. Do the math. So I guess that's my point on this whole sugar fucking debate. And we really need to fucking evaluate ourselves at this point. And, you know, like, there's this big healthcare debate going on because of the healthcare bill and trying to get rid of Obamacare and all of that shit. You know what? It doesn't matter what we do. All right, what bill we pass, doesn't matter what our insurance premiums are. We're fucked if we don't fix public health. All right? There is no politician in the fucking in Washington right now who is going to straighten out our health care without addressing the fact that most of us are getting sick with very long-term chronic diseases that can be prevented if we just eat properly. All right? And if we don't do that, then we don't get good health care. It's that simple. Our health care premiums are going to be shitty. We're going to be uninsurable because we have all these metabolic long-term bank draining goddamn diseases. And then we're going to fucking die. And you know what? The food industry is going to get rich. The healthcare industry is going to make money. That's why shit's so expensive, because they're not going to take the hit. We're taking the hit. We're at the bottom of this fucking pile of shit. And we're trying to dig ourselves out of the pile of shit. And the healthcare industry, the food industry, and the government, they're on top of the pile of shit. So, unless you like being shit on, maybe cut back on your fucking sugar and processed foods. I'm not saying never eat the shit. Lord knows I've eaten more than my share and still would like to eat some of the processed foods. I just can't right now. Because I'm trying to get my health under control. Will I ever eat processed food again? Probably. I'll probably have a cookie or a baked good or something on some form of cheat day, but it's going to be a lot more rare than I used to do it. It's maybe once a month is what I might do. I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I'm hoping I can just be happy eating the way I'm eating now, you know, and that's under 50 grams of carbs a day. A little itty bitty bit of sugar is in that. Not a whole lot, if any at all. And that might be what I have to do to live a healthy, from a food, nutrition, and disease perspective, life. Because I know if I eat what you guys fucking see on TV and what's in all the fucking restaurants, all the stores, all the goddamn fast food places, all the Tim Hortons, all the McDonald's, all the Burger King, all the goddamn Kentucky motherfucking fried chicken, and if I eat that way, I'm pretty much giving in, and I will get fat, I will get sick, and I will fucking die. And that's what that my own personal decision has to be based on. But at least I know now. I wouldn't have known. If I'd have never done this fucking research, I'd be just as ill-informed as most of the medical community seems to be right now. It's fucking nerve-wracking. Being kind of on this, you know, front line of this battle that we're fighting for our health and for our wallets, because we can't afford this shit. We can't afford all of the health care we're going to need if we fuck ourselves up. And we can't afford to pay for the fucking health care of people that are fucking themselves up. Because it's not sustainable. We're fucking running up the bill. And we're not making a whole hell of a lot of money in the process. The people that are making the money, they don't give a fuck about the bill. They're like, I'll pay the bill, no problem. There you go. But if you look at your fucking healthcare premiums out of your every fucking paycheck, I'm thinking you're feeling the burn right now. And that's even if you're not sick. So you should want to be on board with this even if you're not sick. Anyway, that's enough ranting and raving about sugar. It's just, it sent me off that, you know, people are getting sick and getting the wrong and bad advice from people and following that advice because they're addicted to the sugar in the first place. And that's fucking my little rant about natural sugar. Natural sugar is not any more fucking healthy for you than processed sugar. Or high fructose corn syrup, for that matter. When you're insulin resistant and you have metabolic issues, or even when you're not, you could develop these issues. it's fucking bad for you, and it's dose dependent, and it's dose over your lifetime. It's a slow moving thing. You can probably go out and smoke one cigarette and not get lung cancer. It's the same thing with sugar. You can probably go out and eat a fucking donut or a cookie every now and then and not get diabetes, heart disease, cancer, or any of these other things. But when you eat that shit all day, every day, you're damn sure gonna have some fucking problems, alright? So settle down, cut back. Take it one step at a time. And one of the rule of thumbs I follow is don't drink your sugar. Alright? Water, coffee. If you need something sweet to drink, use an artificial sweetener that doesn't have sugar in it. And, you know, something of that nature. It's better to do that, in my opinion, than sugar, because sugar is overconsumed, and that overconsumption is causing our metabolic diseases, our obesity, our issues. A lot of our healthcare bill is from processed foods and sugar. So cut down on that shit, eat real shit, and maybe you'll get a little better. And you'll probably lose some weight just by doing that. If you just eat real foods, I don't care if you're fucking vegan or a fucking keto or a fucking standard asshole who wants to just eat whatever you want, as long as it's not processed, you're probably going to be okay. You're not going to be perfect. You could even get fat doing that. And that includes the grains. You can't eat the white bread and that kind of shit either. You know, I would advocate removing all of that processed fucking grains from your fucking diet too. You know, if it's not on the rim of the store, as in grain, fucking vegetables, fruits, and fucking meats and dairy, I would avoid it. You know, and you'll be a lot better off. If you have to have sweet, eat some fucking fruit, but don't overdo it on the fruit, because if you overdo it on the fruit, you get the same fucking problem, alright? Fruit was made to be rare, alright? And it's only supposed to be eaten in season, yet we have it all year round. Anyways, to my results for week 2 of the ketogenic fucking adaptation I'm doing. First of all, I want to say thanks to all of you who have been very supportive of this for the past couple weeks. I've gotten a shit ton of comments and a shit ton of likes and a shit ton of views on the last 2 videos I did of this. And a lot of people are doing this with me. Which is nice. You know, it keeps me accountable, keeps me fucking going, because there are times where I have moments of weakness and I'm like, I can't fucking do this. I gotta eat a cookie. But you guys helped me out with that, and I'm very fucking thankful for that. So just to give you the update on my week 2 results of my keto adaptation, I've been feeling fine. My energy levels are okay. I do get tired at the end of the day. Like, when it's time for bed, I'm generally fucking ready for bed. And I haven't quite gotten cramps yet, but I feel like I'm pretty close to getting muscle cramps. Like, my foot likes to get a little cramp-like, but not too bad. That's because I haven't formulated my diet properly. I'm not getting enough magnesium and sodium in my diet. Those are very important for energy, for, you know, keeping your sodium levels good, because you'll dump your sodium when you first are adapting. Over time, your body compensates and it becomes less of a problem. But during the adaptation period, you will experience profound dips in energy, and it's just your body switching over and dumping all the salt out until it figures out, hey, I gotta hold on to some of this, and then you start feeling better. That's what the keto flu is it's you're adjusting. But to help with that, consuming extra salt and extra magnesium, you know, your leafy greens like spinach and that kind of shit, that will help mitigate some of that. It's not gonna get rid of it. Depends on how you eat, and everyone's different. So, my results for the week. 203.9 pounds was my weigh-in. Pretty good, not great. You know, I would have liked to see it go down further, but, you know, I'm not really fasting that long. I'm doing 16 hours with an 8-hour eating window. But I'm not eating a fuck ton. Like, it's my portion sizes, since my hunger's been alleviated, have been reasonable. So I haven't had much of an issue with, you know, just stuffing my fucking face during my eating window, which, if I was eating the fucked up foods, I would definitely be stuffing my fucking face. So, the waist measurement was 39.25 inches for the week. And that is pretty good considering I was, 2 weeks ago, I was 41.5 inches. So, and this is doing nothing else. I'm not doing any extremely long fasts. I skip breakfast just like always. And my body is normalizing. It's coming back down. My prediction is by the time of the adaptation's over, without having to do any extremely long intentional fasts, my body weight should theoretically drop down to 194, 195, which is where it wanted to stay the last time I was keto adapted. So I think that might be my set point, and by just eating right, I'm getting there. I'm not going to the gym, not pounding the fuckmaster, I'm not fucking doing any extra fasts. I'm doing what I believe is a proper eating schedule to help not use fasting. The reason I don't want to do excessively long fasts is because that also influences your hormones and your balance and can cause you to be hungry and cause issues. I'm trying to avoid that so that my epistat, the thing that regulates my energy intake and outflow, is normalized. Then, if I still have weight that I want to lose, I'll go ahead and fucking nail it down and do some longer fasts. So, hope that I got through to some of you about the sugar issue. Sugar is sugar, no matter what form it is, no matter, how many goddamn vegans are masturbating over it, it's still sugar. And should be treated the same as anything with sugar in it. And that is small doses, extreme moderation. Alright? Which we don't know how to do yet, because it's in everything. So hopefully we get people on board. I mean, I saw the new Coke Natural or whatever fucking Coke Life. They call it Coke Life. And it says it's got stevia and some other fucking name for sugar mixed with it. So watch out for that. They're on to us. They know that we're looking. So they're gonna try and disguise sugar in any way they can. Don't let them get away with that shit. Do your homework on if there's an ingredient on there you're not sure of, look at the total sugar content, because I don't think they're allowed to bullshit us there, and go by that. Or Google the ingredient and find out what it really is, because all the ingredients you can find information on. So, remember, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just a fucking asshole, just like a lot of people, and I'm trying to get a little better. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be the world's fucking authority on health. I'm just here trying to fix some shit that I done fucked up my whole life. So, have a nice fucking day. Oh, and if you could take a few moments and click that goddamn like button, or maybe the motherfucking subscribe button, so I can tell you more shit, then please, it's right over there somewhere, or maybe it's over, I don't know, this thing's got me all fucked up. It's somewhere underneath this fucking video. There's buttons to push and shit. Don't push the dislike button. I don't like the dislike button. Push the like button or something if you liked it. If you didn't like it, just don't do anything. Have a nice motherfucking day.